Hey y'all, so I'm leaving work again today and my wife is picking me up. How about, I think this might be an easy way to vlog each day. Hi, where she at? Oh, I probably shouldn't even be showing y'all where the heck I work at, but it's cool. It's cool. It's hot out here, honey. We're about to have a conversation, and how about my wife then got into an altercation. Where she at?
What you doing, babe?
Hey, babe.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
guys, we are Herndon.JonesSquared 2 times. So I just picked my wife up from work and I'm about to show her something. You guys will see it later. Ready? Carletta from Herndon.JonesSquared 2 times. I am actually waiting for my wife. I was trying to do this earlier, but she called me interrupted. I wanted to do something unbeknownst to her, so she'll see this when you guys see this, or a little bit before you guys do. But she wanted me to start doing this, so you guys let me know if it's a yay or a nay.
It's always a yay for you, babe.
Let's get it. No, because, well, I don't know. We'll see. Because this one is a little choppy, honey.
Oh! It's the same for me, babe.
I was trying to. I saw you come right down. About to get in this car. I'm gonna let this thing run. She had me all in my nerves and stuff, but not really. But right, yeah. So as soon as I started saying, I saw your head pop up through those damn that grass. Something to bring out a little video to a happy place. I can't get the answer to that on iPhone right now.
Siri, anybody talking to you?
I know. Siri been talking to me all damn day. Like, Siri, if you don't hush. You filming, I'm filming.
Oh,
we
putting this
together.
on there.
Why? Because you got me looking all crazy. She don't look crazy, do she, y'all? Yeah, you do. You ain't in the area.
Well, y'all gonna see this next clip, y'all. It's so funny. My wife can sing, first of all.
Look.
She was singing to me, honey.
I was. But yeah, I'll give you guys a dose of that. I was gonna go all out, you know, get my little vocal cords soothed and sing to her and give her the video later. But yeah, she kind of interrupted that, guys, because she forgot what she told me. See,
I did forget. So I'm in a hearing and at my job, and these people, it was gonna be an all day thing, but at around 4 o'clock, somebody said, "Oh, my client needs to be somewhere by 5 o'clock, so we need to end early." So the judge was like,
and I was
okay.
supposed to walk to work to come and get her. We were gonna walk you guys over to the Federal Hill, if you will, and then I was going to do a little something special over there after we spoke about our topic. But she called me. I'm ready, babe. I'm like, what? What? A whole hour early you ready, babe? Okay.
No.
I'm so happy I was here already.
My text was, "Are you still at work?" Only because I thought it was going to be a late day, because I talked to her early and she was like, "Well, I'm halfway done, so it's going to be a little bit late." But I forgot it was a whole thing about lunch, her bringing me lunch.
Yeah,
but
it
I
was
in
not
court,
about
so I
hair.
To eat it anyway. So I'm thinking she was going to be late picking me up, which was fine, because at that time I thought I was going to be late leaving work anyway. However, everything got all mixed up, and I was kind of annoyed when I asked her, "You at work?" She was like, "No." Not giving me no extra explanation. I was like, "What you WID? What you doing?"
I'm at home.
Right.
I was in.
It was like I'm like, "Why are you giving me these short answers?" What's going on,
I was in the parking lot, lining the music up, like me, you know, me, getting my little vocal cords together so I could sing for her. You know what I'm saying? Had a little peppermint, little water. I turned the air off so it wouldn't freeze my cords.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just getting my little self together. That's so, sweet. You know, but anyway, everything happened how it was supposed to happen. It was still cute. All right, guys, we will be back, of course.
We'll be back,
until later.
Alrighty. See ya.
Hey, guys, this is Carletta from Herndon.JonesSquared 2 times. I am actually waiting for my wife to get off of work, but I wanted to do something unbeknownst to her, so she'll see this when you guys see this, or a little bit before you guys do. But she wanted me to start doing this, so you guys let me know if it's a yay or a nay. Let's get it. Oh, hey, you don't know, babe, when you hold me and kiss me slowly, it's the sweetest thing. Here she come, y'all. And it don't change. If I had it my way, you would know that you are. You're the coffee that I need in the morning. You're the sunshine in the rain when it's pouring. Won't you give yourself to me? Give it all. I just wanna see how beautiful you are. And she is so beautiful, y'all. She's about to get in this car. I'm gonna let this thing run. She had me all on my nerves and stuff, but not really. But right, yeah. So I'll come back for this. This is gonna be like a little something to bring out a little video to a happy place. And she is actually filming right now. What you doing, babe?
Hey, babe.
Oh my goodness. Lord. And you know I'm gonna want you to delete that.
Why?
Because you got me looking all crazy.
She don't look crazy, do she, y'all?
Yeah, you do. You ain't even the earrings? I totally forgot. Ooh.
And we're home.
Hey.
Hey, y'all.
What's going on? Well, where's the paper I just had? Oh, it's right here. We're home. And, yeah. So the other day, I had jotted down some things after watching the news, see a child in Baltimore. You know, I'm not calling you guys children, but you know how they say child, that thing is something else.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. What we wanted to discuss was the crime in Baltimore and how closely, you know, economics, or however you enunciate it, and just the lack of education and so forth and so on has a lot to do with crime.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't expect a population of people who are not educated, who are struggling to make sound decisions.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to murder, even when it comes to theft, drugs. You know, they're going to get it how they live. Like, you can't tell a man who has to feed his family that selling drugs is wrong, robbing people is wrong, so forth and so on, although it is wrong and I do not condone it. But they don't have the mental capacity to know that in that moment when they're making a decision, it's not right. All they know is that there's a reason that this decision has to be made. Mm-hmm. So I was talking to my wife, you know, just kind of bouncing some things off of her. Basically saying, you know, how death, you know, back in my day, you would hear about elderly people passing away, or when people pass away, it was from illnesses, like some terminal illness.
Right.
And if you heard of someone being murdered, that would be on your mind for weeks, for months. Like,
because it wasn't an often occurrence.
It wasn't common. It was not common at all. But the lack of education, the lack of opportunity really matters, because I was also telling her about this detective here that used to work for the city of Baltimore. He wrote a book, and this book was titled Why People Kill.
It was Ed Norris, right?
Yes, it was.
Ed Norris.
Why
Who was a
People
former
Kill.
police commissioner here in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. And here in Baltimore, there's this park called Drew Hill Park. They had found the body of a young girl that was raped, battered, and burned, right? So they got the guy who had committed this crime. And in this book, it speaks on when they tried to get this guy to even spell his name, he could not. Even recite the alphabet, he could not. Count money, he could do for sure. So this guy had wanted a cigarette, right? And I guess during interrogation or whatever, he was given a cigarette. But one of the officers purposefully, like, burned him or put the heat close to him from lighting a cigarette or whatever. And he got really aggressive and volatile because he was saying, you know, basically they tried to burn him or whatever. A simple little heat from a lighter or whatever. It's not simple because I'm sure it hurt. But this man also is the man that burned a woman alive here in Drew Hill Park. But he could not make the connection of how brutal that was for that young lady to have been burned and tortured. And the cop was just saying, like, you know, when people don't have the knowledge or the wherewithal to make sound decisions, they really don't. And we hear a lot here, people place a lot of blame on the people that work or are supposed to impose the laws here in the city of Baltimore. Like, why aren't they taking guns off the street? Why aren't they doing this, and why aren't they doing that? It is simply just not that easy. It's not that easy, because it's a generational thing, a generational situation where there's a lack of education, a generational thing where poverty is very prevalent here. Yeah. Like, these kids don't know what meals are. These kids don't know what fresh fruits are. These kids don't know what it means to sit at a table and break bread with their family. My goodness, I'm one of them. Like, I'm a success story for sure, but that's for another story time. So it's just like, how can one mayor or one state's attorney or a judge or a police commissioner or whoever, how can they stop the crime, really? Because it's embedded in the minds and in the characteristics of a generation.
And the fabric of these neighborhoods. And that's how they lived. And as kids, that's what they saw growing up. And just, how can you put that kind of responsibility on one person? But as I always say, it's no way we are buying these guns. We're not making these guns. The question is, how are they getting into these neighborhoods? You know, some of them, it's because people are robbing gun stores. But you know that there is always been a thing where you have people literally dropping off guns in these communities. Meaning they'll have trucks pulled up and, you know, and people breaking into cars, which is another crime, finding guns, and all of that is done on purpose. There's no way in hell we are being able to
access this type of artillery.
Access to guns like that.
Artillery, sorry. Right. So, and it's getting in the hands of the wrong people. Right. A lot of what we see here now in Baltimore happened, or there was a major trajectory or change during Freddie Gray because they were robbing all of the pharmacies.
Yeah.
And there's so many young people here, young people. I mean,
on
damn,
drugs.
I'm damn near 50. I'm 47. But you got babies nodding out and I mean, couples, little young girls, 19, 20, 21, 22, nodding on bus stops with their boyfriends. And you can tell that they're really gone off of these pills, promethazine, what they always brag about in these songs.
Codeine, lean, everything.
Yeah,
like
everything.
Any kind of drug you can get your hands on that gives you the high that you're looking for. And some of it, some of it's probably, we don't even know the names of half the medication. We just know the stuff that is known to us.
Percocets,
right.
Things you can get out of your aunties or aunt, mamas or daddy's medicine cabinets because somebody's been to the hospital, somebody's had surgery, somebody had to be prescribed narcotics or whatever to get through their situation. But again, too, if the pharmaceutical companies are not putting these drugs out here, they're not getting paid. So it's like, how can you address a situation that is a generational curse? Like, how do you do it? These kids lack education. Like I said, education goes a long way. Being able to just deduce things or to know right from wrong. Like, these kids, they will never, ever recognize the error of their ways.
Right.
How can they?
And then they're not being shown love, and again, a lot of it comes from, birth. It's just what they've grown up in. And like I said, what they've seen since childhood. Of course, back in the day, you would see the drug dealer because they had the car, they had the money, and they were giving kids money. And if you didn't know anybody, and if you didn't have anybody to guide you,
that's the come up for them. They doing it. I want to be like him.
Exactly.
I want to stand on the corner. I want to rock the latest sneakers. I want to look like this dude. I want to have all the chains and
he has the girls. He has the money. He has the car. All the flashy stuff that kids love to see. And that's all they know. When
a population or generation or a race of kids aren't being afforded the opportunity from birth. From elementary school, from middle school, from whatever, you're just like, how can we expect there to be any change?
Right. And then a lot of them, the school system, I mean, Baltimore Maryland is one of the states in this country that we get millions of dollars for our school system.
But it's not going into the inner cities.
It does not infiltrate
the inner cities. Infiltrate or
do the schools.
Or it doesn't. It's not allocated.
So it's not allocated to where it's supposed to be. So I know years ago, my son wasn't even in school anymore, but I would go to the North Avenue school meetings just because, like, why is it that even when I was in school, we didn't have heat or we didn't have air?
And it's still going on right now.
This was back 20, 25, 30 years ago when I was in school.
I've been out of school for damn near 30 years.
I mean, even in elementary school. We didn't have air. So in the summertime, we'd get out early because the school systems the buildings didn't have air.
When there was a blizzard, cities kids still had to go to school in buses and walk and, truck through all of that stuff. I remember.
And of course, you heard your grandparents' story. When it was 12 inches of snow, 20 inches of snow, we had to walk.
Tie plastic bags on our shoes and walk. We didn't have snow boots and this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, that was you. Well, this is me. But I also brought a point up to my wife too, because kids aren't being taught. It starts at home, but if the mother and the father at home are not educated, how are they going to educate their children starting at an early age? And I told my wife, to be honest, and I am totally not embarrassed by it, I graduated from high school. Ask me the 50 states. I'd be like, what? The 50 who? And it was like words that I didn't even know the meaning, like tardiness and this, that, and the third. Like, huh? What are you talking about? And what people don't understand is certain kids are afforded the opportunity to stay in an elementary school from pre-K to 5th grade. They're afforded the opportunity to stay in school from 6th grade to the 8th grade, so until they get into high school. And then they rock out the last few years of their lives in school in the same school, meaning 3 schools. So my wife and I had to do the math, honey. I went to 10 schools.
Same.
10.
I repeated 2 though. Like I left 1 and came back.
Exactly. Same for me.
Same thing. Like
10 schools.
From pre-K to 12th grade?
Yeah. 10
I've been to 10 different schools throughout my school life.
although she seems to have friends from when she was younger that she was able to, you know, keep up with and things like that. I don't know if it was because of the neighborhood that you guys grew up in and y'all lived around one another. But these things also are the building blocks to building long-term relationships.
Healthy relationships.
And it's also the building blocks of knowing what it means to be reliable. Knowing what it means to...
Consistent.
Yeah. Like, it's like... I don't know how I made it go. I mean, y'all, but it was definitely
God. Right?
I don't know how I made it God, honestly, but it was by the grace of God only. And it is like, count it all joy, baby. Count it all joy. If it wasn't for me wanting more out of life, like seeing the dysfunction, seeing the drug addiction,
and having the cognitive ability to know that wasn't what you wanted.
It wasn't what I wanted, and that was because I watched TV shows like the Huxtables, like Punky Brewster, like Three's Company, like different shows that I watched. I was able to live vicariously through these shows, and was like, life cannot be what I'm experiencing.
Right.
Life cannot be what I am exposed to. You know, I was a timid little corner child, right? I'm still that child, but Lord knows I'm so happy that I don't look like anything that I've gone through. But we can't expect these kids across this world who have been disenfranchised, if you will, like just left behind, just forgotten about, to all of a sudden make the right decisions. Crime is going to be rampant until like shit really is addressed, but you got to start with the core of the family. You can't heal one person in the family and send them back into a sick situation because they're going to be poisoned all over again. That's like with addiction. If you don't heal the whole family with addiction, it could be one person that's addicted, but they inspire the whole, or they ask the whole family to maybe come to the meetings and listen and see what your family member have gone through to even be able to empathize with their addiction. So it's like you have to heal things in totality. Healing one little person ain't gonna do it.
But I mean, it is one person at a time.
It is one person at a time.
You probably can't heal everybody, but if you're right though. Everybody should get the same help.
I get it, and it's a good thing. But I'm talking collectively about a family. If you take a child out of a family that needs to be rehabilitated for any reason at all, and then you send them right back into that house with that family, it's going to be a cyclic thing. It's going to happen all over again, unless that person is of a strong will like I was. I can't say everybody will resort back to old behaviors or bad decisions, but you have to heal people and families in the world in totality. Even when it comes to just different races being, you know, disregarded or not treated equally, everyone must get the same treatment, have the same opportunities that everyone else has. And then again, guys, I'm going back to this, but when we're talking about people that aren't even able to have sound conversations, you could talk to a person and then your words go through one ear and out the other. So then you have to dumb it down, come to their level, speak to them with the knowledge that they have to try to get them to understand. It's so many grown adults that I know that cannot read. It's so many grown adults that I know that have not been out of the state in which they've been born. Like, it's just unfortunate. And it's sad because when we watch the news, it's the killing here in Maryland, honey. It is a lot.
It's unfortunate.
Murder is popular. Murder is something that these kids have been desensitized
and they
from.
They get immune to it because it happens so much. And then, of course, on social media, they show the videos, which is important because without that, you know, we wouldn't know what's going on in other states or around the world. But showing those videos, it really is, it makes you say, oh, well, again? Damn, that happened again? Oh, wow, that happened again? And
it becomes of the norm. I don't ever want to feel like, okay, well, that's okay. It's to be expected. And it should not be expected. But it is expected. And this generation, because I have a 27-year-old, and she's my child, and she has some of my qualities for sure, but she is not the mirror of me. Because she's definitely growing up in an era that is nothing like the era in which I grew up in. And I ain't that damn old.
These kids are different.
They are different. They're built different. They're different. I didn't talk back to my mother. I didn't even talk back to her in my thoughts because I thought she could hear me. Honestly. But these kids today, they have so much to say. And they don't have the regard for their parents like we did.
Yeah, I agree.
They curse around their parents. Well, my daughter don't blatantly curse around me. She does not. So I'm happy that that's one of the things that she doesn't do. She doesn't. She wouldn't just have a conversation and just be like, F this or F that now. I've heard her use profanity for sure. That's
I know
not what I'm saying. She'll say, you know, I'm sorry, I'm talking about.
In the conversation piece.
In the conversation piece.
Okay.
Not a situation.
Okay.
Not a difference or not a debacle.
But even
not
in
a
that,
confrontation.
Like, that's another story time.
No, period.
Yeah.
Disrespect to a parent or anyone, period, should be null and void.
Right.
It should be unacceptable. It should never happen.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, on a good note, on a good day, when things are going the way that they should be going, that she doesn't feel like she has to be explosive to the world, she's not going to sit around and just drop F-bombs and have those types of conversations.
Just sit around and, yeah.
That's the point that I'm making. But these kids are different. We just didn't do it. We weren't built that way. Even though we had what we thought reasons to do it, even our reasons to do it wasn't good enough. Our reasons. We can't even spank our goddamn kids without feeling like we're going to jail for corporal punishment.
Right.
Now, I do understand some people take shit too far. They do. But if you got to pop your kid in the ass or jack their ass up or punch them in their chest, okay. You'll live. Go sit your ass down somewhere. That's the era I come from, right?
Same.
So it's just like, I don't want to talk you guys heads off or whatever, but it's like, how is it going to get better? How can one person make the world better or the city in which they live better? One person can't take all the goddamn guns off the street.
Right. And that's not the responsibility of one person.
It
and
takes
you expect somebody in politics who probably don't even know where you came from, who probably can't even sympathize with the way you were raised, to then come into your neighborhood or come up to you and give me your gun, or I'm going to clean these streets up. You don't even know why the streets are that way. You don't even know why these kids are acting that way. So get to the root of the problem first, and then we can change it.
Yep, and that's that.
But they don't want to do that. That's too much like right.
It is. And then, guys, it's like, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. If you start doing to these people what they do to other people,
right,
crime would be different. And that's why different parts of the world, right? That's right, because different parts of the world,
you shoot somebody,
you get shot.
You get shot.
You know? So it's like crime is real low in like in Asia.
Denmark and different countries. Ooh. Yep.
But that's not where we live. That's not our reality. But that's that on that, guys. You just wanted to touch base on that. You can't expect one person to
heal the world.
You can't. It takes more than one person.
It has to be a collective thing.
It has to be.
And everybody has to want to get better. Some people enjoy living the way they are.
They do, because they know no better.
They
don't know any
else.
better. They don't know anything different.
Right, exactly.
They used to brown beaches. They don't know anything about blue water. They don't know anything about the Pacific Ocean. You know, it's just these things. Experiences breed knowledgeable, well-rounded, open-minded, you know, intellectually fluid kids. Yep. Like, and if you don't have anything in you, and if you're empty, you can't be expected to pour out anything positive.
Right.
If you lack you lack the ability to do it, because there's nothing that has been put into these kids for them to give it back.
Right. Exactly.
So that's that on that, guys.
So tell us what y'all think about the video. Give us your experiences if you've had any. And give us some feedback, because we want to read it. And we respond. Y'all know we respond to your comments down here.
All right. Thank you, guys.
We love y'all.
Bye-bye.